It feels like it has been forever and a day since the last actual podcast episode, because it has. The last one was October 22nd. It's February. I Since that episode I have done Vlogmas, and I have done everything I finished in 2025, my project plans for 2026, things I want to make from Knitting for Olive, and I cleaned up my sewing nook so I can actually start using my sewing machine again. And because of Vlogmas, I felt like there wasn't a need to do an actual episode so soon after doing that, because you literally saw what I was making and working on. Which brings us to today. Welcome to episode 9. My knitting bestie gave me this cup for Christmas. It's Harry Potter. It's the Marauders map. And it glows in the dark. Meaning, when it's in the dark, the footprints show up across the map. There's no names on the footprints. It's just the footprints, and it's adorable. What have I been working on since Vlogmas? Pretty much the same things I was working on before. No, I take that back. I have started new things, but I have only finished one thing. And it is the Fenmont sweater. Let me close the blinds so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Fenmont sweater. Now, I started this at Knitting Retreat. I'll give you the actual dates. I started this on September 19th. I finally finished it January 2nd. No, I did not get it done in time to add it to my 2025 list, but that's okay. I can't wear it. I can't wear the thing. So, looking at it, what do you think? Why can I not wear this? Yeah, the reason why I can't wear it is because the bind off on the neckline is too tight and I can't get the darn thing over my head. So I did according to pattern instructions, which is, okay, first off, it starts off with a provisional cast on the neck, and then you go top down. Then you pick up the neckline from the provisional and do the ribbing for the neckband. There's nothing wrong with that. Totally fine. Except, like a dum-dum, I followed along with pattern directions and did a standard bind off. I even went up 2 needle sizes just for the bind off to make sure that it was stretchy enough, and I left room in between and made sure it wasn't too tight. Yeah, still too tight. Can't get it over my head. It goes like right here. It sits right there. So I have to unpick the bind off and do a different one. I'm thinking Jenny's stretchy bind off because it's ribbing, and yeah, it's adorable. I love it. There actually is 3 colors in this. So I used the original yarn suggestion for the pattern before it was rewritten. So I used the Twisted Tweed Sport. Oh, sorry. This is from Pattern and Yarn is from Expression Fiber Arts. See, I haven't done an actual episode in a while that I forget what I'm doing. The Fenmont sweater from Expression Fiber Arts, using suggested yarn, which was Twisted Tweed Sport. So up here, this color is Deep Fox. And then it moves into, I think it was an oopsie color, which means like the dye didn't come out as they wanted. And so it was at a discount. But it ended up, I think the color was actually like the fox light, like the light fox color. And then it goes into normal fox, which was slightly darker. And let's see if you can see it. Can you see it? You can see that the variation in the slight colors there. I like it. I think it's fun. And then on one of the sleeves, I ran out of yarn towards the end, and so then I had to dip into my backup fourth color that was so similar to the fox, and that was Fool's Gold. It's basically the fox color, but with a pinkish tint to it. And I think it blends in so nicely that I can't even tell what sleeve that it happened on. Can you? I don't even know, but it's so cute and I want to wear it. I just need to redo the dumb neckband. So that's what I did. I ended up actually making the size large in this. And oh, there's a puppy. Hi. So trying it on when I first started in the size medium, it was a little too small. Now this sweater is designed with not a whole lot of positive ease. It is very form fitting, and the medium was just a touch too small, so I went up to a large. I used a US 6 for the body of the sweater, and I did a 4 for the ribbing. Yeah. So that's where we're at. It's the Fenmont. Now trying it on before I did the neckband, it looked fantastic. Just can't get it over my head now. So this is the only thing that I have finished in 2026 is Fenmont. Everything else I have started this year, except for 2 things I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you all the whips because some of them I haven't touched since October. Totally fine. So the first pair of socks for this year is for my youngest child because he has decided, she's got a toy, that he also wants socks. And he picked black and white because he's 10. These are just doggy doing doggy stuff. This is just, is that so? This is Crazy Sock Lady, basic vanilla socks. For him, I'm doing the size small. It's the same size same size I do for me. Hello, my love. I heard your tummy. I am using Knit Pick Stroll for the white and then Cascade Heritage for the black, which, oh my word, is using up leftovers from the Harry Potter socks. When's the last time you did a staring contest with your dog? Just out of curiosity. For my son's socks, I did a 1x1 rib for 20 rounds and he wanted a little longer leg, so I did 70 rounds on the leg. If I make him another pair of socks, he wants them even longer. He really likes to pull his socks up to his knees. So we shall see what happens next time. And then, customize for the foot. So this is sock 1. Oh, I started these January 4th. Okay. So these have been living in my purse, which means I just work on them when I'm out of the house, and I just need to finish these. What is going on with that? Oh, where am I? What is happening? There we are. I just started another side. Oh my word. I think I've showed you her new giraffe toy from Costco. Yeah, she's tossing it about the room and whining at me. Here's the second sock. I am halfway through the foot. I need to add another stitch marker here. But here's where I'm at on the second sock. I'm on the foot. I'm so close to finishing these. I should just pull them out of my purse and get them done. So there's, what are you licking? And then I haven't touched the holly sweater since Vlogmas. Okay. But I want to show it to you because I like it and it's adorable and I want to finish it. So here's where I'm at on holly. So I have joined in the round on the under this. Well, I've separated for sleeves and I am this far down the body and I have completed one sleeve and now I need to go back and finish the second sleeve and then the body. But holly's turning out great. Yep. This is the holly sweater from Knitting for Olive, and it is my first time using the Knitting for Olive yarn, and I love it. It's amazing, and I can see why so many people recommend and use Knitting for Olive. And holly is kind of what inspired the everything I want to make from Knitting for Olive video, or the, what was it, 9 patterns I want to make from Knitting for Olive. So holly inspired that. Now these next 3 things are stash busting. Okay. I have so many projects that have, well, not projects. Well, yes. I have gathered my yarn with the patterns that go with them and the words. We're going to try this again. I have made a list of all the projects that I can make without having to go buy yarn. There we go. I think I stated that in my 2026 planning video. And here's the list. This is not including socks. Okay. I think if I add in like my full skeins of socks, I can make 22 things without going to the store and buying yarn. Okay. Here's the list of non-sock things. Okay. There's 16 on here. And in order to decide which ones I was going to make first, I have a 20-sided die. Okay. We don't play D&D, but the husband is teaching the middle and the youngest how to play Magic. So 20-sided die. And because my list goes up to 16, I needed this. I rolled it, and these are the next 3 things that I have started because I was feeling irresponsible. So I did an irresponsible cast on day and started 3 new things because I can. So those 3 things are the Avenue Tee by Tori Yu, and Knigsi and Mac and Mitts from Expression Fiber Arts. Now, Knigsi and Mac and Mitts, I am using the suggested yarn. The Avenue Tee, I am using the same yarn that I used for the Skyline Tee, just in a different color. First up is my Avenue Tee. Now, this is from yarn from Rowan. It is the Superfine Merino 4-ply, and it's a baby blue, sky blue color. I need to put down the dice. Okay. So I am this far on my Avenue Tee. Whoa, we are losing stitches there. Don't do that. You can pick which neckline you want to do on this, either a crew neck or a V-neck. Now, since in my head, since I did the Skyline Tee and that was a crew neck, I wanted to do this one in the V-neck. So that's the option I chose. And I am in the point of the pattern of shaping the neckline now. So this comes across, the back here, and it's shaping the neckline. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to lose stitches. Avenue Tee. It's so rolled up and scrunched up because, yeah. And so here's here's shoulders. So the shoulders look great. Okay. And now I'm doing that. So I'm now on, I think, my second ball of this. I have 6. I believe I have 6 balls. And I may have leftovers. I don't know. We'll find out. I have itty bitty little amount left over from the Skyline tee. But it's so squishy and such a bouncy yarn. I love it. I love it so much. When did I start this? I started this on January 22nd, and I am making the size 3. So this was number 15 on my list of 16 things to make that I rolled the dice for. This was number 15. Okay. Now the next one is the Mac and Mitts. I started these, I think, later, a couple days after, because I realized I didn't have the needles. So I started these a couple days after the Avenue tee. I started these on January 27th, and I'm using a US 3 on 9-inch circulars because that is the suggested needles for these mittens, or you can do magic loop. I would have done magic loop, except my other 3s on my interchangeables, I bent the needles somehow. They're metal needles and I bent them. I don't know. So I had to wait until I got these. So this is using, now this is Expression Fiber Arts. I'm using the suggested yarn. This is the Luster Sport, and I'm using January Garnet. And another one of the Oopsie skeins, and this is like a lilac lavender color. Okay. And the pattern is so fun. I'm doing increases for the thumb. Now you have, this pattern is on all of the mitten. Yeah. Nope. We're going to drop that. So I love that pattern. And then for the thumb increases, where's my thumb? It's just, it goes into stripes. You see that? Yeah. So there's those. And it's a one size fits all kind of pattern. It's not labeled for left or right because it's the same on both. There's no fingers. These are fingerless mitts. And why not? I've had that yarn for years. I've had it for years. I just never got around to making it, which is why I made my list and why I have the dice, and I'm letting the dice decide what comes next, because it's much more fun that way than just looking at it thinking, nah, I don't know. So we let the dice decide what our next project is. Now this next one, I am hoping I get done by Valentine's Day. What did I say today was? Today's the 10th. It's a Tuesday. Valentine's Day is on Saturday. I think I can do it. I mean, I have said this in the past before, saying I think I can get something done in time, and I don't. However, I did get that Halloween sweater done before Halloween. I hate that sweater, but I did get it done before Halloween. This next one, I think I got the yarn, it might have been last year. This is Pattern on Yarn, also Expression Fiber Arts. This yarn broke my yarn buying ban because I just had to have it. It was inspired by strawberries. Okay. Except for it came in a kit and I needed one other color to make this thing. And so I got a color that Went perfectly well. It just fit perfectly with the strawberries. This is Knixie. Now it is a sweater poncho thing, so therefore a swancho. There are instructions to make it just the poncho if you want to, or you can do the swancho, the sweater poncho part. I am choosing to do the sweater poncho part because sleeves. I wanted to have sleeves. And I chose my colors to go from lightest to darkest, and you're holding two strands together throughout, so you get a marling effect when you are starting to switch colors. I am using the suggested yarn, which is Twisted Tweed Sport from Expression Fiber Arts. My colors are from lightest to darkest. We have Blush Brush, and then we've got, see, and then we hold it together for a certain amount of rows. And then we have Ruby Sweet, hold it together with Freesia. And then we have these last two are held together on the body, and then they get to be singles on the sleeves. So then the last two are Strawberry Field and Indulgence. Let me go grab the skeins and show you. Strawberry Field, Indulgence. This is like chocolate covered strawberries. That was like the inspiration picture. I don't even know if this kit is available anymore. Here's the answer. Is it available? Okay. Or if they are available in singles. Here's your answer. So here's my sweater. Now it has short row shaping in up top, and for the split hem, let me back up and show you. I don't remember where my chair was, so we're going to call that good. Now, the neckline, you might be thinking, hey, aren't your cables inside out? Well, yes, they do look like they're inside out, because guess what? It's designed to be folded over, and then you see the beauty of the cables. So you have the cable cowl neck, and then this is the cable along the shoulder line. So pretty. And then there's going to be even more cables along the sleeves. So I just finished the bind off on the split hem, the second side of the split hem this morning. Here's our split hem. Doo-doo. Okay. And I did Jenny's stretchy bind off because it's 2x2 ribbing, and I don't want, and it's a little swoopy because of the short rows. So therefore, Jenny's stretchy bind off. But I felt like this is an appropriate make for Valentine's Day when I rolled it, and I was just so happy because I've been dying to make this, but I just, haven't. It was on my list of things I wanted to make for fall. That never actually happened. Because that happens a lot. Anyway. Okay, next see. It's pink for Valentine's Day. The colors happen to be inspired by strawberries. That's where we're at. Now, I do want to show you an update on the playing card blanket. Because why not? That's the only other thing I am working on. So I've been alternating between the playing card blanket and my strawberry swancho Knixie, because one's crochet and one's knit. Playing card blanket. So here's playing cards. I have 2 columns done out of 5, and I have started the 3rd column, okay? And I crocheted up the side so that way I had something nice and even to connect to because I am attaching it as I go. But all of this is from yesterday, and this is 2 episodes of Grimm and like an extra 20 minutes. So like, okay, 2.5 episodes if we're going timeline wise there. So those are, 40 to 45-minute episodes, and 2 episodes got me that far. That's not even halfway through the chart. This is why it's taking so long, because it takes 45 minutes to do 5 to 7 rows. Yeah. So that brings me into what I'm watching. By myself, I am rewatching Vampire Diaries because I don't know what else to watch. And with the children, with the middle and the youngest, we have introduced them to the awesomeness that is Grimm. I love Grimm. Such good TV show. We are halfway through season 2 with them right now. So whenever we are watching it, I'm working on that because I have seen this show multiple times and I don't need to quite pay attention as much as they do because, I've seen it. So therefore I can work on this and not look at the TV. That's what I'm watching. What I'm reading, I've read a lot since the last time I talked to you in October, and I'm not going to tell you every single thing from then. I'm just going to start with what I've been reading in 2026. I finished Empire of Storms in 2025, so that counted for my Goodreads challenge for 2025. So where's my list? So this is just starting 2026 in January. The first thing I finished was Knit 1, Kill 2 by Maggie Sefton. It's murder mystery. She goes to some small town in Colorado because her aunt died, and well, actually her aunt was murdered. And then things unfold, and there happens to be a knitting shop, and they were all friends with her aunt. And so she's learning how to knit while also kind of helping solve the murder because the police are dumb. I don't know. I thought it was okay. Like, the way the author is describing knitting, eh, I don't know. It felt a little weird, honestly. But I guess it's book 1 of a series. There's apparently there's 16 books in this series, and I read the first one because I have one of the later books. For some reason, I got it at like a library book sale. Apparently, I have book 15. That's the one that I have. And so I figured I better start at the beginning. I ended up giving this 3 stars out of 5. I hope that it gets better. And then I decided, since I was doing doing a no buy January, that I should just read books off my shelf or the library. And so I decided, what would be great is if I reread Cinder. So I did. I reread Cinder. And then the full cast audio version of Harry Potter for Azkaban became available. So I listened to that. If you have not done the full cast versions yet, I recommend. It may be a little weird at first because you have a narrator. Okay. And then you have each character has a person. And then there's sound effects. And at first it might be a little weird, but I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. And you know what happens to come out today on what's today? The 10th? February 10th? Goblet of Fire. So that's going to be next on my list. So I went from Cinder to Harry Potter, and then I did book 2 of the Lunar Chronicles, which was Scarlet. I have all 4 of the books, and so I'm just rereading the whole series. And so I finished Scarlet, and then I have a bunch of these other books that I also got at a library book sale, and they are cozy mysteries. Okay. And it is The Inspector and Mrs. Jeffries. This is book 1. Okay. I have like book 3 and then several of the ones in the teens and then several of the ones in the 20s. There's 48 books in this series. And I have not even half of them that I picked up at the library book sale. And so I wanted to start reading those. But the one that I have to start the series off with is book 3. So I had to get book 1. And they're just fun and cozy. It's Victorian London, and Mrs. Jeffries is the housekeeper for the inspector. And he's kind of a bumbling inspector. He needs assistance, although he doesn't realize he needs assistance. And his housekeeper helps him solve the mysteries. And it's adorable. It's just really cute. So I read the first one, and then I have the second one actually coming in from thrift books. So I can keep going on my collection. But I got the second one from the library as well on audiobook. So I can listen to that. And then those are all the ones that I have finished. And then what I'm currently reading at the moment is Cress, so book 3 of Lunar Chronicles. And then I have the final book from that Nora Roberts series, the Lost Bride trilogy. So this is The Seven Rings. This came out in November. I didn't get it until like last week. But it's, haunted house. Well, yeah, haunted house. She inherits this mansion from this uncle she never knew she had, and it happens to be haunted. And there's a witch ghost who wants to be mistress of the manor, and she's just wreaking havoc. And then there's a curse on the family, and there are 7 brides who have been murdered the throughout the history, and the witch ghost is collecting their rings, and so they have to break the curse. And this is book 3. It's the final one because it's a trilogy. And it's been a little bit since I read the second one, so I'm having a hard of a time to get going on it, to remember what happened in book 2. But I think we're good now. We're established. And yeah, so those 2 are physical books. And then I've got the next Mrs. Jeffries coming in for physical book. I have an audiobook version. And then Goblet of Fire is now available. So that's what I'm going with. I'm still kind of doing like a no by February, like continuing my no by January, which is why I haven't finished Throne of Glass. Because if you remember, I have all of them on Audible, but now I'm rereading it using physical copies. So every time I finish one book, I go buy the next one. So I have finished Empire of Storms, and now I need to buy the physical copy of Tower of Dawn. But because I'm doing a no buy, I'm not. Although, I take that back, since I just bought a book on thrift books. Maybe I should just go buy it. I mean, like, January is over. We'll just continue the no buy with yarn. Let's not buy yarn, but we can buy books. Does that work? Does that work for you? That works for me. So that's where we're at. And we have had sick kids. We are on week 3 of the kids trading fevers like they are Pokemon cards. And I think we're in the clear now. Like, the last child went back to school today. His temperature was basically normal anyway. Like, just a hair over normal, but close enough that he could go back to school. So I finally have the house to myself again, which is why we're doing this today. So I need to go sanitize my house, because like I said, they've been trading fevers like Pokemon cards, and they are taking bets on who's going to fall next, me or the husband. Hopefully neither one of us, because we don't have time to be sick. So I'm going to go sanitize the house and then take the dog for a walk. She's asleep and didn't even notice. Or maybe I take the dog for a walk first and then sanitize the house. No reaction out of her. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.